Howdy, 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 Zach Scott here with another long source filmmaker tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you how to do the entire iPi mocap software process to go from raw capture of animation to processing to importing to getting it into the game. This should be your one-stop tutorial for Ipisoft. So I'm going to be doing a multiple connect setup here. So as you can see in Ipi Recorder, I have my the setup page set up with my two connects selected, so I'm just going to hit setup here. Whoops. Cancel. Setup. You'll have to excuse me, I'm doing this while standing, as you can see now, and I have to lean in for my microphone, so my sound levels will be all over the place for this. But as you can see, I have my two connect cameras, which are giving me their signal here with the depth on the left and the video on the right. I have one camera right there and another camera on my fridge over there somewhere. And so, first thing you want to do is you want to get your workspace cleaned up. So as you can see on your depth, on the depth thing there, you see these red or yellow areas around the middle of each frame here. Yellow is how Ipisoft renders if there is a bit of data that it just can't manage. So it's a bad spot in the detection. So what we want to do is we want to clean out those yellow areas as much as possible. And that'll usually be anything that's reflective. So I'm just going to quickly move the stuff out of the way. So that's reflecting, that's reflecting, that's reflecting. I'm just going to put these over here. That's reflecting. This stuff. Move that out of the way. And yeah, that's somewhat better. It's not entirely perfect, but I think it'll do. You'll notice I'm wearing a cap because my hair is a giant source of distortion as well. When you're recording, you're going to want to dress kind of slimly, so you're not like wearing baggy clothes or anything, because you don't want stuff shaking around and adding extra data where you don't want it. So anyway, I think this will just have to do. So what I'm going to do now is calibrate my two sensors. So I'm just going to click on this background button. And now I'm going to click on Evaluate. So you can see I have my evaluation control set with a 4-second delay so that I can get the hell out of the way before this starts. So I'm going to hit Evaluate and get out of the way. And I'm back. And what that basically did is it got our base levels for everything in our scene so that we can use the subtractive method of blah 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 to get the mocap looking nice. So now we can move on to our recording stage. So I'm just going to hit record. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a calibration file, because the Ipi mocap studio software doesn't really know where your cameras are set up without some sort of input telling it where they are. So the way the system handles that is you can easily make your own calibration tool by using, and this is going to sound dumb, a big piece of cardboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 5-10 second little recording of me with the cardboard doing these motions. So you see how I kind of just tilted the cardboard around at several angles, and that just creates a plane that the software can use to create a calculation to synchronize the two cameras. So I'm going to do that now. And done. So I have recorded that, and I am now going to go in and do one more thing, which is rename this, because I forgot to name it properly. So this is going to be wrong floor New episode calibration. Okay. So now we are actually ready to start recording proper actions. So first off, you want to take a minute to actually plan out your proper actions. I've got a bit of a rough script here that I've kind of got planned out in my head. And I have a scene here where I'm just going to have Atlas arrive in the elevator, walk out, press this button, and then turn around and look at this box. So it'll be a simple action where I'm just going to walk out, press a button, pretend there's a button there, and press it, and then turn around and look at a box. And then that'll be our animation. So I will name that appropriately. Wrong floor, Atlas, box, button, start. Delete. Yeah, so naming your stuff, I don't know. Do it however you want. And now, a couple of things are going to happen here when I hit start. So, the way you're going to want to perform these mocap actions is you're always going to want to start or end, or preferably both, in T-pose. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to get out there, assume T-pose, wait for a second, and then actually start doing my animation, and then return to T-pose. And so why that's important will become clear later. So I'm going to hit start now and perform that action that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to get into position. And I'm going to assume T-pose as straight as I can. Now I'm going to kind of get into character. So Atlas is stocky, so he's going to be kind of like this. And so he's going to just arrive in the elevator, kind of look around, see a button, kind of press it, take a step back, and then do a little dance. So there we go. That's our basic animation. So I'm just going to stop that. And as you can see, these files are large. That was a 526 megabyte file. So put your mocap on a big hard drive. So I'm going to take that animation now that I just made. And since I'm a bit tired, I'm just going to skip ahead to Mocap Studio and show you how to process that. I was going to do a bunch of other takes, but I'm just going to do this first one. So, excuse me while I reorganize my workspace so that I can sit down. Okay, and I'm back. So we have our two animation files, which is all we need, really. So I'm going to go and figure out where those saved to. So give me a moment there. And I have my two animations right here. So here we go. First off, we want to drop in our, and notice I'm now in Ipi Mocap Studio, the standard edition, which is a different program from what we were using before, which is Ipi Recorder. So I'm just going to take my mocap and drop it in there. So first I have my calibration, and I'm just going to drop that in. And this is a calibration project. So I'm going to hit next, and it's going to detect. And now if you go into view, you can show depth from all sensors, and you can see that the depth information from each of my cameras is not really lined up with each other. So we're going to fix this right now. So what I'm going to do is move some stuff out of the way so I can see. I'm going to highlight only a small portion of my animation. So in Ipisoft, you're going to be working in clips generally, so get used to using this little drag bar as your timeline region of interest. The program will only really worry about what's inside that section. You can jump to the beginning and the end of it with these go to the first thing buttons. So now I have my section selected, and I'm going to select calibrate based on 3D plane. And now it's just going to process this out, and it'll just go on. There are going to be a lot of processes during this tutorial that take a fair amount of time. So when those come along, I'm just going to pause the recording so that you can fast forward to the end of them. But generally, I'm going to be cutting out chunks of 5-6 minutes here and there. just not this one first so you can see what I'm doing. As it's going, you can orbit the camera around and just sort of look at stuff. Once it's done there, it'll kind of figure out where those cameras were. Wow, that totally failed. I think probably because I rotated the camera. I'm going to redo that, and this time I'm not going to get cocky and rotate the camera. And I will spare you from having to wait through that again. Okay, I'm back. I reran the process several times and finally managed to get it to properly track. And as you can see now, the mocap from both sensors is lined up nicely. So now I'm going to go into the scene section and hit save scene and just save that out as a calibration scene. And I'm just going to leave the name the same because it's fine. And so now I'm going to drag in my action mocap, and this is where the fun happens. So I'm just going to drag in my, whoops, not calibration scene, Atlas box button start. Yeah, sure, save. Save, whatever. So this is an action project, whoops, and the calibration scene is going to be the wrong floor calibration scene. Next. There is one actor here. I'm approximately 183 centimeters. And here I am. And as you can see, there's my big blue depthy me and this purple guy. So this purple guy, he's our friend. He's going to be our kind of mocap tracking dummy. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to select the area that I want to cover. So maybe about there to probably around there. Sure. That works. This is going to be a fairly long clip, really. A lot of animation there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this purple guy with my blue guy. So I'm just going to drag him along using the controls up here, move, rotate, and IK. I'm just going to rotate him around and drag him along. Be careful to make sure that the height is accurate. Looking down from the top, the height can be deceptive and weird. But yeah, so watch things so that they generally line up. But I've gotten pretty good at this, so I kind of understand what the tolerances are. So I'm just going to get him about halfway in between. I'm going to use IK, and I'm going to click on his hands and just kind of drag them into the positions that my hands were in. And get that vertical in there as well. And now I think I'm ready to roll. So in my tracking page, I'm going to enable head tracking. Shoulder position calculated from arm position, that's fine for me. Stiff lower spine is fine for me. And that's good. So now I'm just going to hit the track forward button. And as you can see, purple guy is going to start sticking to blue guy. And animation's happening. So it's just going to go through every frame of this video and kind of refit this purple guy. Basically the same thing as if you were to hit this refit pose button on every frame. Just kind of to track me around and get some data from it. So I'm going to pause this recording while it finishes up because as you can see it's moving at a pretty slow pace. So this is going to be a while. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. And we're back, and as you can see, my animation has finished tracking. So what we can do is we can go back to the beginning, and I can hit play, and you can kind of see how that went down. So everything seems good, and yeah, the tracking seems to be working just fine. Not really seeing any problems there. Bouncing around a bit. Turning around. Things seem to be working out just fine, yeah. There was a little bit of weirdness on that one leg, but otherwise we're okay. And yeah, so that's our animation. As you can see, it's quite, if I turn some things off here, we can kind of see how it came out. It's quite a bit jittery, so we're going to do a couple things to combat that. So first I'm going to save with Control S, just in case. And I'm going to scrub back to the beginning, and we're going to add another tracking pass here called a refinement pass, which is just going to make everything a little bit smoother. So I'm going to hit refine forward, and again, I got the hiccups. again, this is going to kind of go through every frame and clean things up a bit. Again, this is going to take a long time, so I will pause the video. Oh, I think it's done. Okay. Alright, so, as you can see, Refinement Pass has kind of smoothed all this out a little bit. So, you know, you can kind of go back over the animation and see how it's all kind of panned out. We got a lot more, well, a lot less jittering about, but we can do some more with this. So, some people might be content to take that and add a couple of smooth passes on it and just call it a day and say that's some smooth animation. And it is pretty smooth. I would never recommend 6 passes on this, though. That would be insane. But we can make it better. So let's make it better. So, again, we're going to do one more long refinement pass. So, in my post-processing jitter removal section, I'm going to go to Options and kind of set a couple of these sliders around. So, I want to keep a lot of the motion in the torso, and I want to keep a lot of the motion in the legs. Well, no, I want to smooth the legs. But I want to keep the arms going, and I want to give the head a lot of sharpness. So I'm going to hit OK, and now I'm going to hit Apply, and that's going to apply those post-processing filters to each of the limbs in general, and it'll take another good long while, but we'll get some really smooth results, and I can bring that into Source Filmmaker. So I'm just going to hit Apply, and it's going to start going along and taking its dear sweet time. So again, I will pause this recording and see you in a few seconds. Oh. And my refinement pass has finished. And so, well, actually my post-processing jitter removal pass. So now we can check out our animation again, and yeah, we will notice that it is a lot smoother. Oh man, that's pretty nice. That's I'd say that's looking pretty good. I can apply one layer of smoothing onto the head just to knock that down a bit. Well, the whole body really. But I think that's pretty good to do. So I'm going to import my Atlas rig, which is right there. So now you can see how that all works. And I'm going to export this animation. So General. And I'm going to save that as a, in my proper folder. WF Atlas Intro Walk. And I'm going to save that. Yeah. Alright, so going back into Source Filmmaker, I have my animation here. So I'm just going to grab Atlas, wherever he be. Let's see. Atlas. Ballbot. Oh, he has an IK rig. Nobody likes IK rigs anymore. So I'm going to unlock those transforms. And I'm going to, whoops. Didn't I just... I gotta show hidden bones. Oh, annoying. Unlock those transforms. Detach that rig. And now I have my proper restored Atlas in a second here. Whoa, portal got in the middle of the screen. Just hide that out. And that. And let's import that animation. So I'm going to import animation. And I'm going to choose WF Atlas that I just made. WF Atlas Intro Walk. And that's going to bring in my animation. So, ba-boom. I have it down in here. So I'm just going to find out where Atlas went. A bit under the world. So bring him back into the scene. And we can check out how this looks. So, yeah, well, what's going on with his leg there? I wonder if there's something weird there that I'm not seeing. Maybe I need to bring in a fresh Atlas as well. Yeah, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to bring in a new Atlas. Just because sometimes when you're importing an animation over something that had already... Bleh. If you're not replacing all the information for the bones, you might not see the exact thing that you want to see. So I'm going to bring in a new ball bot. Import for him the same animation, and it will hopefully look proper and not broken. Kaboom. And gabagoo. And yeah, that doesn't look nearly as broken as the other one did. So, just to remember, the other one was actually looking exactly the same. Weird. Anyway, I have my Atlas doing my animation, so I can kind of scoot him around and see how that looks. Yeah. We'll want to do a couple things here to clean this up so it's not quite so bad looking. First thing I'm going to do is grab them hands and twist them in. So if I clear a bit of space, I'm going to go in here and zoom in a bit. Grab each of these hands by the wrist. Twist them in so they're not sticking out like dumb hands. I'm going to grab Atlas's head. Ballbot spine no 2. No. I want to grab his body ball. Bring that up as well. Grab spine 02 or spine 1. Twist that back a bit. Now he's looking a little bit better. Man, he looks pretty funny. Let's see. So I would put him on the elevator right around here. Let's see if he actually properly walks out far enough even. Yeah, I'll have to do some cheating to get him to actually reach that button. But, you know, that's just the way things work out. But that's basically the entire Ipisoft mocap pipeline. That's how you go from having no animations captured to having an animation in the game, or tool, rather. So hopefully you learned something, and hopefully what you learned is just how easy it is to do what I just did. Anyway, peace out.